Welcome to my Let's Play of Spelunky. This is episode 15, and I'm Psychedelic Eyeball. So, what's new in the lobby? Well, you can see all of those markings on the wall. Well, these indicate the number of times that you've died. Every 20 deaths that you have one more set of markings that indicate your deaths. And you can have up to 5 of them, so your first 100 deaths in the game will all be immortalized forever on the opening screen of the game. So yeah, Rurs did make a good point into the thread whenever he said that I didn't showcase all of the main characters yet, so this is what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna play with this fine bearded gentleman. He's one of the default characters in the game, alongside with the turban guy, the lady in green, as well as our good old deluxe spelunker. For some reason, I always call the default spelunker in the game the red-nosed red deer. Wait, reindeer? What does this got to do with red deer? Oh well, I guess it's the Christmas time which is upon us. So, last update, we did manage to have a pretty good run in overall, and yeah, I guess we're gonna spend all of our money. You always gotta spend your money on bombs if you can help it, because you never know what it can do for you. Honestly, if you can buy a big box of bombs that early in the game or whatever, then do so, because it's definitely going to help you in your journey. Okay, that was overly convenient. I have absolutely no clue how. Everything just set up itself so that everything fell right on my face so that I could collect it without a rope, but, well, thank you, game. I mean, I'm just kind of flabbergasted, because usually the physics of the game just end up screwing you more than they help you, but here, this was a one time where everything worked in my favor, so hallelujah, it's time for a new world order. And yeah, I have no clue why the hell I was even doing that. I just wanted to try being fancy for a second. Can you throw a rock at a bomb which is exploding so that the rock goes back into your face? Well, of course you should, because this is how you prove to the world that you're a pro player. Or maybe that's how you lose hit points in overall. So yeah, in this one update we're gonna try doing what we couldn't afford to do into the last update, which is to pretty much meet our end in the early section of the game. Well, I hope it doesn't boil down to that, because otherwise this run is kinda going to suck. I mean, after the last update, runs will pretty much boil down to hell or bust, because honestly, unless that we're not doing any progress, it's gonna be pretty hard justifying having a new run to begin with, so yeah, let's cross our fingers and hope that everything goes right. After all, we gotta beat the first level of hell and make it so that we can finally get somewhere. Yeah, you always gotta be on the lookout for random physic things that can happen. This rock might have been potentially damaging to me, so obviously I had to get out of the way. Whenever bombs make things explode into this game, you never know what will happen to you or to whatever is into your surroundings. Hell, you just have to be careful of random things that will happen, like the arrows bouncing against the wall, because occasionally they will just bounce back into a wall and back into your face, so okay, that was pretty much the worst way to possibly die. I'm sorry, damsel, I didn't mean it. I kinda wanted to use you as a decoy, but unfortunately I got more than I bargained for. But yeah, I was talking about how arrow traps could just end up bouncing against the wall and create a huge commotion, and this is what we ended up getting, because it was the one arrow that bounced back against the wall that killed the damsel and made it so that her death will be even more painful as she was falling on the spikes after dying. But here we go, we finally won a gift into the game! So, all in all, the amount of money that we ended up paying in order to get this new item was less than the cost of an actual pickaxe. That, and we won a jackpot previously, so yeah, it's pretty much a good thing in overall. If you have time to waste at the slots, it's always something that you gotta try at least once or twice. More so later in the game where there's some really useful items on for sale, because Contrary to all of the other shops in the game, which end up costing more and more money as you advance through the game, the cost for the roulette game is exactly the same no matter what. It's always $2,500, so all in all, it can get a pretty good bargain. It's just, don't expect this thing to make you actual money, because otherwise you're gonna have a million of ghosts wanting you dead. So the lowdown of the story is, gamble at your heart content, but only whenever there's a useful item for sale. And okay, that was why I lowered the rope. I was kind of wondering, this is low enough so that I can do this, so why am I wasting a rope? Well, I'm not really wasting a rope if it involves getting free money with the pickaxe. As usual, this thing racks money like crazy. So I could whip this snake out of the way, but I'm just gonna be a little ironic and use this thing, which is perfectly armless, so that I almost end up dying because the tip of the arrow knocked me back on the scorpion down here, and then he ended up stinging my ass over. Wow, so far I gotta say this is a pretty embarrassing playthrough, but well, I'm pretty sure this is what people will like seeing. I mean, honestly, in this one Let's Play so far, things have been going a little bit too roundly for my taste. I mean, we didn't have enough major catastrophes, so it's time to have a little bit more authentic playthrough where things pretty much routinely go all wrong all of the time by having random physics havoc going all over the place. Also, never forget your buddy the pickaxe, because it's good for you and it's gonna do so many good things like getting you $1 million. Or maybe not, but yeah, into this game, you really don't want to let your pickaxe behind. It's so useful, and for the most part, in the early section of the game, it's pretty inexpensive and easy to find. I mean, all that you have to do is to get one of those high here snakes kind of level. So all in all, it's pretty easy to get those. And later on in the game, it kind of diminishes in usefulness, well, until you get to the temple, which is where the item will get all the way useful all over again. But yeah, in the mines and the jungle, the pickaxe remain a very useful item. Not so much in the highest caves, considering the entire place is so wide open, but in the early portion of the game, it's definitely pretty OP. Finally, different music. For a while, I was just having this one song which kinda get on my nerve, the one which just goes... Okay, I'm kind of far off the mark, but this is still kind of what it sounds like, and I just found it so unnerving. And like I said, I'm not sure if I said this into a video before, and yeah, here we go, I'm almost dead again. Go me! Yeah, at this point, I'm just gonna do myself the mission of finishing this one update with only 1 point of health. That's right, we're beating the entire game with 1 health or bust. Or more accurately, 1 health until we get a damsel or a manzel, and the other thing that we're gonna do is to get hit again until we get 1 more hit point again. And whenever we'll die using the hunk, we'll go all the way back down to 1 hit point, and the circle of life will begin anew. And yeah, just in case that you wonder, you can indeed destroy the entire tree with only 1 swing. Just destroy the base of it and the entire leaves will fall. And yeah, who needs rope? Whenever you have a pickaxe, everything in the world is free. Never forget that. So yeah, I guess before I was interrupted by what was happening, well, I was talking about how the music was kinda inappropriate for the game. I mean, in overall, the soundtrack of this game really has a Genesis vibe going on to it. And I'm talking, of course, about the game console, not especially, well, you know, the band itself. I mean, so far this entire game has not really been about 30-minute long guitar solos as well as keyboards, or is this? Yes, I don't know. Honestly, after a while, a lot of progressive rock bands kind of start blending over. But still, this will be an improvement over the music in this game and overall, because with the exception of a couple of tracks there and there, I really don't like the soundtrack that much. It just kind of feels functional, and that's pretty much the entire thing. It's just like something you can let in the background. It's gonna be perfectly appropriate, but yeah, and overall the music is just appropriate instead of something that will just stick on your mind and make it so that you will want to hear the game or the music again after you've even exited the game. I mean, back when Risk of Rain came out, I really did not like the game itself, although in the last few times that I tried it out, I really have started to get the hang of it and it's a whole lot more fun now, but yeah, even though I hated the game, I still went ahead and bought the soundtrack, because the soundtrack to that one game is just so damn good. But honestly, the only reason why I have the soundtrack of Spelunky was because it was given for free when you bought the game on Good Old Games. And yeah, for the information, I do have the game on Steam. The only reason why I have the Good Old Game version is in order to make it so that I did not need to clear out my entire save file in order to do this Let's Play. This way, all of my stats will be brand new, and you will be able to see later on how they evaluate, wait, what is the word for this? Evolve, yeah, that's right. Go brain lapse of the English language. You are always the best friend in the world. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I've had so many playthroughs of the original game that my stats kinda ended up being skewered. I mean, I've been attempting runs like doing the no money run, as well as a whole lot of speed run, because as I probably once said into one of my streams, I really love the speedrunning side of this game, although I'm terrible at it. I managed to get like a time of 5 minutes and a half, but so far I'm kind of forced to admit that it almost was an accident because I cannot replicate it anymore. But all because of those antics, it's like my average gold run for one single playthrough ended up something like $10,000 or so, even though I pretty much played this game over 1,000 times. But all of the times that I ended up ignoring money on purpose just kinda ended up skewing the average altogether. But yeah, one of the reasons why I also wanted to start a brand new game from scratch was in order for you to see, for instance, where you will unlock all of the characters in the game. I mean, there's still a whole lot of characters that we have yet to collect, and I'm probably gonna have to do that in a separate video because I haven't had any single shred of luck finding a shit ton of those. I mean, for instance, there is a character in the mothership, and yet I went there like 3 times and he didn't spawn a single time, so we're just gonna have to persevere. And yeah, I really will want that one jetpack, but usually whenever you want to just go and beat hell, it's always a good thing to try not angering the shopkeeper too much, because depending on the level design that you end up getting in hell, the shopkeepers can be very, very scary to deal with. I mean, we end up having stuff like a million of spike pits everywhere, lava, and a whole lot of new obstacles that we still have to talk about. We'll get to that in due time. But on the other side, pretty much screw getting the jetpack this late in the game, because at this point it just costs a fortune, and I have a cape anyway, so having either the jetpack or the cape will be good enough to tackling hell, but try to not go there without one or the other, because you might find things to be going a little bit miserable. With that said, however, we will be able to get plenty of capes in hell, so it's not as much of a big deal, but it will make stuff like the City of Gold, the Ice Caves, as well as the Temple a shit ton easier to do. Okay, so will we manage to get both the idol as well? Oh yeah, that's right, we just can do this instead. Now, hopefully I'll be on my way to get a shit ton more health. Also, I don't think that I've talked about the idol in the ice caves before, but yeah, it's just set over a crumbling icy platform that is set over a pit of spikes. Essentially, whenever you get under, you must hurry up and get the idol before the ice fades under your feet and you end up falling into spikes. But the bigger danger in all of this is that, well, most of the time the platform will be much higher than everything else, or will be in a pretty inconvenient place to go to, so you must have a backup plan in order to make it so that whenever you get on the platform, you'll be ready to go back to a safe spot. The cape and the jetpack will just make this incredibly trivial to do. So we'll have a second encounter with the Yeti King. I mean, the last time that we met him, the encounter was very brief, as in, he met a shotgun into our face before he could even attack us at all, so we'll see what happened this one time. But this mine here should hopefully help me into this quest. Okay, or maybe not, because I ended up throwing it so far away. Oh, you son of a bitch! What did you do to my hunk, you horrible monster? Here, take another mine! Oh, god damn it! What is going on? This freaking Yeti's invincible now. Alright, you freaking jerk! So yeah, the moral of the story, Yetis mean business. Don't you ever forget that. And that's... Okay, that's the most inconvenient place to put in a new character. How the hell are you supposed to get him out of the way in a reasonable time lapse or something that someone not aware of this ahead of time will be able to do while keeping him alive? I mean, without using a rope or anything, there's not even a way out of this pit to begin with. I mean, that's kind of a dick move, game. Now, the good things. Thanks to the Yeti King, we can finally stomp on Mammoth in order to kill them. And the bad news is, well, everything else, because now we can no longer go to hell. We've been locked out, and obviously it was one level away. And before you wonder, you can be sure that, oh god damn it, why is this happening to me? This is kind of a slow burn kind of death, because you know you've died, but the thing is, before you are truly considered dead, you pretty much have the time to think about your death at least 50 more times. Yep, our character will be still falling for years and years to come, thanks to that one cobra that spit on our face. So yeah, in overall, I gotta say, in the other updates, things kinda went our way for the most part, but here, I think this was one of those updates where nothing went right at all, so I figure we need to wrap this one up and not think about it anymore, because holy shit, that is definitely something. Oh, speaking of things that need to be forgotten, well, we must clearly not forget about all of these other past lives that we've had. This time I was playing as the Green Lady because my train of thought went like this. I had my first victory as a lady, so if I do this again, I will be able to win hell. And yeah, by the way, you don't necessarily need a freeze ray or a shotgun in order to rub a shop, you know. The machete will do things just perfectly fine. And after that you can get a proper weapon. Now we'll have a look at how you can rub a shop without any kind of weapons. I saw that into a YouTube video. I unfortunately don't remember who did it, but that's how you do it. You just whip the guy, and after that you just jump, and with the jump that you use to get away from the shopkeeper, you stun the guy, and finally you finish the job with his own weapon. And here we go, every single store of the game is yours. But that's depending on the fact that afterward you can still deal with the shopkeepers, because they still remain very tricky beasts, even whenever you think you finally got them. Yeah, this is never over. Yeah, what killed us? Yeah, we dodged all of the bullets, but it's his shotgun that fell on our face which did us in. I mean, how more badly things can go in this one update. This is a travesty by now. Now, it's time to balance the action with something a little bit more strategy based. Essentially, what I'm showing here is the quickest way in order to get the big money achievement, which is to get $500,000 in one single playthrough. The vaults will be the one thing that you need to use for your goal. Essentially, you just rob a vault, but instead of picking up all of the gem, you wait for the ghost to spawn everything into diamonds. But it's a tremendously long process. You have to evade the ghost after that, and it's a very long process that is pretty much as exciting as you've just seen. But if you're patient enough, you can see that your gold totals will soar all the way through the sky. But of course, you must still be very careful, because It just makes any death that you might have afterward even more soul-crushing, because you may have ended up wasting something like 30 minutes on one playthrough, and then you just end up dying in a stupid way, so we're just gonna counterbalance that with the sick dodge. And finally, the one and only time that a mystery box was our friend. Yeah, the moment that I try to go robbing the place, that's when the frickin' mystery gift is a jetpack. Whoa, okay, that's a pretty interesting greeting, shopkeeper. Welcome to my wheel of prize, and welcome to die! Here's my shotgun in your face! Also something which will make your jungle levels a little bit more easy to deal with. Your torch just went out? Well, no problem, just go and pick up your torch again, and bring it back to a torch that was previously lit. And there shall be light once again. And I guess that'll be it for this one update. Stay tuned as we are finally going to Bastille in the next video.